Hey everybody, Charlie Waymire here from Ultimate Studios Inc. and the Recording Ninja Workshops. Welcome to part 4 of our Building a Drum Sound mini-series. If you haven't seen parts 1, 2, or 3, please check them out so you get a good idea of what we've been doing to build this drum tone. So, up until now, we've been mono. I know in part 3 we did pan our tom mics, but we've been working predominantly in mono. I highly recommend it to get a good idea of how to capture a drum set with only 1 or 2 mics. There's no better way to do it than just working in mono. But stereo overheads are just awesome. So we've replaced our mono AT4047 for a stereo pair of AT4047s. So my overheads are a little different than the typical spaced pair. I'm a firm believer that my overhead sound is my sound. It gets everything. They're not just cymbal mics, they're not spot mics. That's where all the good stuff happens in the overhead. So capturing that right is really, really important to me. My setup is kind of inspired by George Massenburg, where I'm not going a standard kind of left, right kind of thing. I'm dissecting the kit this way, and you can kind of see it from that angle. It's really kind of following the line of the toms. So it kind of dissects the kit like this. Now, I do for a couple reasons. One, it gets great tom sounds just with the overheads. It also tends to keep the cymbals balanced with the rest of the kit nicely. So if you have a drummer that's really bashing cymbals, or you have some cymbals that are harsh, having the mics a little off of those cymbals can kind of tame that a little bit. And like I said, just those 2 mics alone, you'll get everything you need. Now, the important thing here is making sure that these mics are both the same distance from the kick drum and the snare drum. And the way you do that is take a mic cable and just hold it down with the bass drum beater, push it down, measure up to your first mic, measure down to your snare drum, and then you just take that hand over and you go between the 2 mics. And if you do that, you'll have a nice strong center and you'll be phase coherent. So, without further ado, let's bring Hao back out here. Let's have him demo this sound and see what our stereo overheads sound like. Okay, Oscar has been waiting for stereo overheads all day long. So let's bring Hao back out and let's see how these stereo overheads affect our drum tone in our track. So there's a little bit about how I go about building a drum sound. Like I said, I think in part 1, there is no one-size-fits-all to this. Every situation is different. I treat every song differently, different mics, different setups. But my core concept's the same. I try to get as much sound as possible with only a few mics, and I build out from there. And by that I mean I add mics to get what I don't have from those few. But the few, like we had our mic in front and our mono overhead, we had a full drum tone there. But as we built into our stereo sound, everything started to open up. That also changed how it sat in the track. And that's the most important thing, is how it feels and how it sits with the music. So, please, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you've enjoyed these videos, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, leave some comments below. Thank you to Hao for playing on this stuff. Thanks to Oscar for approving everything I did. Believe me, he approves or he disapproves. We will see you guys next time in the studio. Enjoy. Happy recording.